Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the top stories so far. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli is scheduled to embark on a state visit to India shortly. The Premier is scheduled to meet Indian businessmen and the Nepalese society later today. Energy experts express need to hold discussions on Nepal-India's power trade agreement in order to expand its working processes. Russia accuses the UK at a UN Security Council meeting of inventing a fake story and playing with fire over the Salisbury spy poisoning incident. And Arsenal defeats CSK Moscow 4-1 at home in the Europa League quarter-final first leg match. Aaron Ramsey scores twice in Arsenal's win. Let's begin with the latest national political updates. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli is scheduled to embark on a state visit to India this morning, accepting an invitation from Indian counterpart Narendra Modi. Along with Prime Minister, Oli's wife Radhika Shakya, a 55-member team will be accompanying Premier Oli in his visit, which includes 4 ministers, high-ranking officials and artists. This is Premier Oli's first international visit after he held the office. The Nepalese embassy in India has stated that Premier Oli is scheduled to reach New Delhi at 11:45 a.m. Prime Minister Oli is scheduled to meet Indian businessmen and the Nepalese society later today. Tomorrow, the Premier will see Indian President Ramnath Kovind and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The discussions will be held on Pancheswar Detailed Project Report DPR, Upper Karnali and Arun 3rd Construction Plan, East-West Railway and Kathmandu-Birganj Railway constructions. Once both the sides sign an agreement, a press conference is scheduled to be held to announce the details of the agreement. Premier Oli will then visit the GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology at Uttarakhand on Sunday before returning home at 6 p.m. that evening. The Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli is embarking on a 3-day state visit to India this morning. At this juncture, energy experts have said that there is a need to hold discussions on Nepal and India's power trade agreement in order to expand its working processes. Nepal had signed a power trade agreement with India 3 years ago. However, India changed the working process against the agreement's interests. Experts have therefore hoped Premier Oli and his team would hold discussions on the power trade agreement. Based on the agreement, India could purchase electricity produced from Nepal only from those projects which have 51% Indian investment. However, the agreement has been questioned and gulped in controversies. Experts explain the disputes raised on this very issue needs to be dealt with a high-level discussion from Premier Oli's visit to India. Officials at the Energy Ministry have assured that power trade agreement would be on the list of agendas of Premier Oli in the upcoming visit and his team would hold discussions on it as well. Now, we had asked the public in Birganj, Nepalganj and Dhangari what type of agendas should be discussed during Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's visit in India. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
प्रधानमन्त्रीले भारत भ्रमण गर्दा राष्ट्रियताका कुरा 1950 का सन्धिका कुरा देखिन्छ सीमानाका कुराहरुको बारेमा ती मूल एजेन्डा उठाउनु पर्ने देखिन्छ
भारतबाट नाकाबन्दी हुने छ त हाम्रो देशमा चाहिँ हाहाकार हुने स्थिति छ यी कुराहरु चाहिँ अलिकति यो वाणिज्य सन्धिहरु चाहिँ अलिकति केही परिमार्जित हुनुपर्छ
हाम्रो यो धनगढीकै नाकाको सम्बन्धमा पनि गएको शेरबहादुर देवाको सरकारले चाहिँ 33 नम्बर बुदामा यो नाकालाई स्तर उन्नति गर्ने भन्ने सम्झौता गरेको छ यस्तो कुराहरुमा चाहिँ विशेष ध्यान दिनुपर्छ 7 नम्बर प्रदेशलाई उज्जवल बनाउनु छ भने गौरीफन्टा नाकालाई चाहिँ चाँडो भन्दा चाँडो स्तर उन्नति गर्ने कुरा चाहिँ पहल चाहिँ हाम्रो प्रधानमन्त्रीज्यूले भारत भ्रमणको बेलामा गर्नै पर्छ
राष्ट्रवादी कुरा गर्ने मान्छेहरुले पहिला चाहिँ सीमाको सुरक्षा र पहिला भएका जस्तो पञ्चेश्वर लगायतका ठुलठुला जो सम्झौताहरु छन् यिनीहरुको कार्यान्वयनको दिशामा चाहिँ एकदम दृढताका साथ उभिनु पर्दछ
हस्पिटल्सहरु इन्जिनियरिङ कलेजहरु यदि त्यहाँको इन्भेस्टमेन्ट यहाँ आयो भने त्यो राम्रो हुन्छ
हाइड्रो पावरमा धेरै स्कोप छ सिमेन्टमा स्टिलमा तपाईको इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेभलप गर्ने त्यसमा धेरै स्कोपहरु छ
मोदीसँग जुन छ हामी त्यो पहिला जुन पुरानो जुन एजेन्डा छ त्यो त पहिला पूरा गर्नुस् मेरो भनाइको अर्थ
जल विद्युतका कुराहरु जुन आश्वासनहरु पाइएको छ उहाँहरुको लगानी भएको ठाउँमा त्यसलाई छिटो त्यसलाई सम्पन्न गराउनु पर्ने हुन्छ
नेपाल भारतको व्यापार घाटा एकदमै बढिरहेको छ त्यो व्यापार घाटालाई कसरी सन्तुलनमा ल्याउन सकिन्छ नियन्त्रणमा ल्याउन सकिन्छ भन्ने कुरा मुख्य कुरामा त्यो जोड दिनुपर्छ
नाकाबन्दीको जस्तो स्थिति अब नआओस् भनेर त्यसमा सतर्कतापूर्वक डिल गर्नुपर्छ।
नेपाल र इन्डिया बीचको जुन डिप्लोमेटिक रिलेसन छ नि त्यसलाई कसरी अब स्ट्रेन्थेन गर्ने, कसरी अघि बढाउने, कसरी अझै स्ट्रङ बनाउने त्यो कुरामा उहाँले अलि बढी फोकस गर्नुभयो भने राम्रो हुन्छ।
It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's your question. What do you have to say about the implementation of laws concerning the fundamental rights like education, health and employment failing to be formulated? Your options are A. Government's apathy, B. Inactive citizen society and C. Working at the last minute. The voting for that question is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 8080 to share your opinion with us. With that, it's now time for the international update. Russia has accused the UK of inventing a fake story and playing with fire over the Salisbury spy poisoning incident. At a UN Security Council meeting yesterday, Moscow's UN ambassador Vasily Nebenzia said Britain's main goal had been to discredit and even delegitimize Russia with unsubstantiated accusations. The UK says Russia is behind the attack, but Moscow denies responsibility. Britain's UN representative Karen Pierce said the UK's actions stand up to any scrutiny. She likened Moscow's request to take part in the investigation to an arsonist investigating his own fire. Russian former spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia were found unconscious in Salisbury on 4th of March. 33-year-old Skripal is recovering in hospital and has been released a statement saying her strength is growing daily. Her 66-year-old father remains critically ill but stable. Moscow called a special meeting of the Security Council in New York to discuss the attack, saying Britain had legitimate questions to answer. Now, Bollywood superstar Salman Khan has been sentenced to 5 years in prison for the conviction of poaching rare antelope back in 1998. The Jodhpur court yesterday made such a decision. With this, the event Dabang the Tour that was supposed to be held in Kathmandu is now in uncertainty. At least 100 million rupees invested by the organizer, Odyssey Entertainment, and the audience is at risk. The event that was initially scheduled to be held on 10th of March was postponed to mid-April, citing special reasons. Organizers, Odyssey Entertainment, informed that out of 4,000 tickets that were sold, 1,500 have already requested for a refund. It was informed in a press meet that the tickets for the event to be held in Turikil ranges from 2,000 rupees to 10,000 rupees. For another dinner program at Salty Hotel, tickets worth up to 30,000 rupees each were sold. Meanwhile, the organizers are yet to inform the public in this regard. The court in Jodhpur also fined the superstar with 10,000 rupees for the crime. Khan killed the two black bucks, a protected species in the western state of Rajasthan, while shooting a film. 4 other actors who starred with him in the movie and were also charged with the offence have been acquitted. 52-year-old Khan can appeal against the verdict, but in a higher court. Correspondents say he will have to spend at least a few days in prison. The world's highest mountain, Mount Everest, stands as an identity and as a symbol of pride for Nepal to the rest of the world. There are around 300 summiters who travel to Nepal from abroad every year to climb Mount Everest. The financial transactions of over 1 billion rupees take place annually for expedition purposes. However, most of the revenue generated are believed to flow to foreign agencies. There are also no proper records of how much Nepal makes out of the total revenue generated by this sector.
The Everest expedition for this season is to start very soon. In comparison to other mountains, summiting Mount Everest is relatively costlier for climbers and time-consuming as well, as the mountain is different than other mountains and it requires special preparations. International summiteers pay a royalty of $11,000 per person to Nepal government to climb Mount Everest. However, more than half of other expenses made by a climber still slip out of domestic agencies. The royalty might be direct revenue for the government, but other sectors that benefit from such expeditions are domestic trekking agencies, hotels, restaurants, guides, porters, and transport services. Insurance and management of international climbers are handled by agencies of their own country, which is why a big portion of the revenue goes abroad. The other reason behind huge chunk of revenue going abroad is because majority of the materials used during expedition are manufactured by international companies. Nepal only gets to be a part of the trip as a local agent, getting only a small portion of the big revenue. Nepalese entrepreneurs believe increasing the capacity of local agencies would help increase the scale of revenue as well. They have also insisted on the need of government's attention and assistance to retain the potential revenue.
Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger praised midfielder Aaron Ramsey's composure after the Welshman scored twice in the London side's 4-1 home win over CSKA Moscow in their Europa League quarter-final first leg match played last night. Ramsey and French striker Alexandre Lacazette each scored twice in blistering first half for the Gunners, who are the top scorers in the competition this season with 27 goals. Arsenal manager Wenger stated that Arsenal must remain focused for the second leg in Moscow next Thursday if they are to progress in the Europa League, which is almost certainly Arsenal's only route into the Champions League next season. CSKA Moscow manager Viktor Goncharenko was left ruining his decision to try to play an attacking game at the Emirates, saying they left their opponents plenty of open space to exploit as a result. Now, Star India yesterday bagged the global television and digital rights for cricket in India for the next 5 years with a $945 million bid to complete their stranglehold in the coverage of the game in its commercial home. At the end of the 3-day e-bidding, the Indian Cricket Board (BCCI) tweeted that Star India bagged BCCI India International and domestic media rights for 61,381 million Indian rupees for the next 5 years, a first in cricket. The highest bid fell short of the $1 billion mark, but means the broadcasters will pay $9.24 million for every international match in the 2018 to 2023 period. 6 companies, including Facebook and Google, initially entered the fray to bid for 102 matches in India. Following scrutiny, Star India Private Limited, Reliance Industries Limited and Sony Pictures Networks India Private Limited were found eligible to submit online financial bids. Star India struck cricket's biggest television deal in September to secure Indian Premier League's global media rights for $2.52 billion, which consolidated BCCI's position as the richest board in the world. The Kathmandu Goldens will be clashing with Biratnagar Kings today at the Dhangari Premier League. If Kathmandu Goldens wins today, they will be the first team to enter the playoffs. If Biratnagar Kings win today, Kathmandu will have to wait until their last match to see if they qualify for the playoffs. With 2 wins out of the 3 matches played so far, Biratnagar will have a good chance of reaching the playoffs if they beat Kathmandu today. Meanwhile, in Dhangari Premier League matches played yesterday, Biratnagar Kings defeated team Choraha Dhangari by 18 runs, while Mahendranagar United took care of Rupandehi Challengers with a 4-wicket win. Rupandehi Challengers have crashed out of the Dhangari Premier League after losing yesterday's match. And that's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will be at 11 a.m. Keep watching Kantipur TV HD for more news and entertainment. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.